All right, hello guys, we're live. Sorry I didn't do one yesterday. I don't think I did. At least I don't think I did. But I was actually at somebody's house yesterday for a pool party. I know it's October. It's crazy. We all know it's been crazy out there. Very warm. It's a heated pool. It was only in the lower 80s yesterday. But as we get this live stream started, I want to appreciate just take a second to let you guys know how much I appreciate you guys. I've been getting so many subscribers, and it really makes me just feel good to know there's other people out there that really care about what the weather is going to do, and they really enjoy listening to me speak about the weather. So I just wanted to take a second to thank you guys for that. If you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. I make live streams like this as well as seasonal forecasts for tropical storms, snowstorms, all sorts of things, monthly forecasts, as well as educational videos. Also, make sure to leave a comment or a question or statement as I'm going to go through and answer those. That's usually what I do in these live streams. That's what these are mostly about, is me just answering questions and everything. So it's more of a Q&A than anything usually, but weather related typically. We do get off topic though. So I have to find my own live stream on my phone so that I can read the comments. I don't like doing it on the screen because I usually can't get it to work properly to where I can actually scroll up and down. So, Charco123, hey, what's going on? Kane Darby, I think I've seen you a lot in my stream, so thank you for that. Hi. Gaming Guy Matic 2000, hey, what's going on? One Big Happy Family Life, hi. Will Mississippi get snow? Northern Mississippi will have a decent shot at snow this year, I think. I just commented on your video. LOL. I love watching your videos. Thank you, Christopher. Well, Western Virginia, Shenandoah Valley, will get major impact from Michael. That's a great question. Charka123. So I'm going to show you, if you haven't seen my Tropical Storm Michael forecast yet, you should check that out for sure. That'll have a lot more answers. And when it's that far north, it's kind of going to be a little bit past the range of complete certainty, especially like where it is on an east to west spectrum. But we're going to take a look here at the vorticity. I want to look at upper air vorticity, actually. So here's our storm. You can see it's right over here, right around Cozumel and Cancun, Mexico. It's going to make its way north and impact anywhere from the Mississippi coast to some portion of the Florida Gulf Coast. And it's going to make its way either inland or off the coast. And it's going to make its way towards North Carolina and Virginia inevitably. These areas look to almost certainly be impacted. Right now I have it kind of in between you and the eastern portions of Virginia. I have it taking Richmond to Delaware and out of New Jersey. That's the track that I like right now. So you would mostly get, the western edge of it. As far as winds, if that forecast was to verify, you're not looking at anything too crazy. I mean, maybe 20 miles per hour sustained wind, so it would just feel like a windy day. Gusts maybe 10 miles faster than that, so maybe 30 mile per hour wind gusts. Nothing too crazy. Really, the rain is your biggest threat. If we're being completely honest, you could get anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of rain, maybe more. Always possible. So I would just be looking for flooding for sure. I'd be looking out for that. Thanks for the great question. Robert Skrull, hello. Hey, how's it going? Gaming Guy Omatic. Well, northern Illinois, including Chicago, and mid-northern Wisconsin get snow. Yes, they will. If you're asking about the winter, yes, they will at some point. You're deaf? For real? What do you think Michael will do for New York City? It's forecasted to have 65 miles per hour off the coast. I think that might be a little overkill. As I see it being a weak category 1. I know my video earlier I called for a strong tropical storm. Now I've upped it to where I think it'll be right on that hurricane category 1 to tropical storm spectrum. So I'm upgrading my forecast a little bit as we move on a little bit. I really think this is overdoing it even. And, I think it will probably be anywhere from off the New Jersey coast, which would impact you most, to inland Jersey and out of New England, which would impact less. It would impact more people, but it would be less severe. So that's probably what we could hope for. But I really don't think it'll even be tropical storm status at this point. We're just not going to have the features available there for that. Everything's possible, but as of right now, it's pretty far out too. So, hi from Florida. Hey, Sherry, what's going on? Hi from Washington State. What's up, Rebecca? Hello from Northern Illinois. What's going on? Fox Kemp. Hello, peoples. I see you a lot too, Fox Kemp. Come on, Michael. You can make it to Cat 3. I don't think it's going to happen. My local news station here in Miami is calling for Michael to hit as Category 2. Fox Kemp, where did you say you were from? Again, just curious. I love snow. It gives me the holiday spirit. That's for sure. I think everybody can agree on that snow gets them in the holiday spirit. Well, Tuscarora, New York gets snow in this upcoming cold front. So here's the thing. There is a chance for snow in the second one. Slim. Of course, this time of year it's slim. The first one, I don't think there's as much of a risk. Though I do want to mention, and this will be right after the tropical storm roars through, or what would have been a tropical storm. You see that thing goes out, and you see these little bands. This is actually lake effect rain and possibly snow here as the cold air moves over, and you see those little bits of blue where it wants to mix. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that, and that is with the first cold front. As we look at the snow accumulations, it keeps things quite minimum. Most of the snow being northern New Hampshire, actually, north of the White Mountains. But it's interesting to mention that we're getting lake effect anything. So definitely interesting to mention. And if we look at the GFS, the updated GFS, this is an experimental model, doesn't have it so much. So we'll just have to keep an eye. I don't think this one doesn't go out that far. Also has the lake effect rain as well, though. CMC has nothing. So yeah, it really just depends. Now, what I did want to mention is with the second cold front, it looks like there might be some back-end snow showers after this cold front. And then lots of snow chances for in here, at least snow showers for, north central portions of Pennsylvania, northwestern portions of Pennsylvania. This looks to be lake effect type event, but certainly these snow showers on the back end that it likes to have are mostly associated with this cold front that moves through. Good question. I love all weather. Will it snow in Seattle? We'll have to see. You guys seem to a lot. I believe in you, Michael. Make it to Cat 3. Oh, can't wait for Polar Vortex this year. Gaming guy, never seen it actually falling, only on the ground. Michael will make it to a weak Cat 3 at most. Charlotte, North Carolina. What say you about Colorado, Denver area? Are you asking for winter or for an upcoming event? If you're new to the stream, feel free to subscribe. I make live streams like this, as well as seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. So if you want to subscribe for that type of content, I certainly create that. Also, make sure to leave any comments of any questions or anything you might have to say as I'm going through in the comments and answering all of them. National Hurricane Center. Yeah, the National Hurricane Center has actually been surprisingly aggressive with this storm. So very interesting. Interested to see what we're going to get here in the future from this one. Looks pretty good on 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 satellite. You see they're calling for it to be a hurricane by 1 a.m. Tuesday, all the way through here. This would definitely be a difference maker if it was a hurricane this early. So we'll just have to see. It looks like they don't see the shear being as strong as I do as of right now. And then you can see 1 p.m. Thursday, it's tropical storm and then subtropical storm. So yeah, certainly if it was on the northern edge here, these areas would be getting conditions like that. Now, I think it's going to take a more inland track, but we're going to have to keep an eye. Keep an eye on it for sure. Well, Sherry, it's a beautiful site. You should go up north. Man, it is going to turn cold in a week. It is high 80s, feels low 90s, North Carolina. Just watch your last update. Thank you, Miss Daisy, for keeping up with the videos. Will the Southeast get any cold weather like Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, etc.? It's too hot for October. I recommend you watch my most recent video. It talks a lot about the cold that's upcoming, but I'm going to get into that in just a minute. What's up, man? Michigan's back. Am I still your moderator? Yes, Silver Ghost, you are still a moderator. What about Maryland? Are you asking for winter or for upcoming pattern? Oh, okay, so the Miami. You said weak category 2? It's interesting. Is cold November or December followed by mild winter always true? Do we see a counterexample before? Yeah, it's not always true. You mostly look for the earlier portions of October and September to be warmer, right when that snowpack is building. So like right around now is when the snowpack is building, and we can look right now towards Canada. If I can find a good perspective, this one should do the trick. Yeah, so if we look at the total accumulated snow now till the 17th, you see so much snow in Canada. And that you want that to just keep building up, because this is going to just create cooling in the atmosphere that's going to make those cold shots even more potently cold, and certainly going to help the situation. That's why a warm fall in the United States helps to have a cold winter, because usually a warm fall in the United States means that the sorry for that voice crack, by the way. It usually means that we had a jet stream that was pretty much flat for the most part, which would mean most of the cold air is just sitting right here. Now, what you'd hope for is for that to continue through the fall, and then you get what's called a negative AO, which is basically warm air, warmer than average air and high pressure, to build up in these areas. And that really just forces the cold air to go below, which would usually mean for the situation this winter, a trough in the east. And this is really where the cold air would go. This is why I'm calling for the polar vortex to set up a lot of times in these areas. So hope that explained a lot. Would the HWRF at hour 105 be the most impactful for NYC? Really, with these hurricane models, you want to kind of just mix all of them together and see what all of them combined would call for, the mean average. That's mostly what we'd be usually looking for. So this far out, you can't really say for as far north as NYC. It's just too early for that far out, unfortunately. What are your thoughts for Northern Virginia? Are you saying for the hurricane, the pattern, or winter? Winter of 09 and 10 is an example. It was cold all the way through. Yeah. Good observation. As well as 2014 to 2015, the November of 2014 was really brutally cold. I just pray we get a little cool weather this year in Florida. What's the outlook for Texas like? Are you asking for winter, the upcoming pattern? Any more updates for Michigan weather? Are you asking for upcoming weather, or it would really help if you guys would clarify a little bit more what you're asking for, like pattern, winter forecast, hurricane. Just give me one of the three, and I'll be able to answer the question right away instead of having to have a follow-up question. I hate to slap you guys back with a question in response to your questions. If you're new to the stream or new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I make live streams like this as well as seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. Also, make sure to leave any comments or questions you might have in the comments as I'm looking through all of them and answering them. Winter season forecast for Eastern PA. Eastern PA should have below average temperatures with above average snowfall. Do you think Michael will stay a tropical storm the whole way through the eastern United States? Yeah, it's looking more and more likely that it will become a hurricane in the Gulf states. But once it crosses over and it's in the Atlantic, if it's in the Atlantic, it will probably stay a tropical storm. Wonky Cascade. I'll have to look back and see what your question was for. What about Maryland? So Maryland for the winter, you're looking also for below average temperatures and above average snowfall. Highs will be in the 60s at the end of this week, cooling down a lot. Yeah. If you look at my most recent forecast video, you'll see that that's what I'm calling for as well. The Ultimate Girls Master. Winter is all of New England. Cold as usual. New England winter. You're looking for blizzard conditions, well above average snowfall with below average temperatures. I think Michael will be a strong Cat 2 or a weak Category 3. As of right now, it's becoming more and more likely that it will become stronger in the Gulf. I really don't want to, downplay it or upplay it, but it really doesn't matter. Strong tropical storm or Category 2, you're looking at very strong impacts for the areas that it hits in the Gulf states, whether that be the Florida Panhandle, the Mississippi coast, Alabama coast. Wherever it hits, it's going to have big impacts. So really, they got to heed those warnings and make sure they know, when to evacuate and things like that. They really need to know to make the right call, which don't go based off of my channel for that. Certainly, the Hurricane Center is going to be your best bet, the National Weather Service. If you guys are new to this stream, make sure to leave comments if you have any as I'm going through and answering those. How about northern Washington and southern British Columbia? Yeah, I think you guys will have below average precipitation. Cold here in Washington State. Brr. Been having to turn my heat on lately. Yeah, look for it to warm up after about the 13th or 14th. It should really warm up by maybe, 10 or 20 degrees. Thumb of Michigan. Yeah, it's looking more and more likely that those northern states are going to start getting snow towards the later portion of October as those troughs are beginning to move through. And certainly by November, a lot of areas will be getting snow. Techman, I'm a huge Steelers fan. Big win today. Cold nights coming this week in Iowa. Yeah, Iowa, you guys, when the troughs are starting to move through, you guys are going to get the brood of it. If you saw my October forecast, I'm calling for you guys to have the most below average temperatures at the end of the month. Looks like the cold air will be moving down soon. My friend who lives in San Antonio, Texas, said they will get highs in the 60s by next Sunday. Yeah, if you check out my most recent video, you'll see that's what I'm pretty much calling for. If your mod is from the Motor City, Michigan, we should call him the moderator. Yeah, that makes sense. What happens is a negative, so it weakens the winds in this. Oh, yeah. Thanks for answering that question, Master Chief. Hey, P Turtle, what's going on, man? What are your thoughts on possible impacts of the hurricane and snow this year in Northern Virginia? So for the hurricane, gonna break it down real quick as we look at vorticity. So for Northern Virginia, you're really going to look for flooding to be your biggest impact. I think it depends where you're at, but if you're like Winchester area, I think that it should go just south of you. It really depends, though. It could go right over you. So certainly be looking out. Rain's going to be your biggest impact, I believe. Be looking for, possible up to 10 inches of snow or rain. So certainly be careful. Be very careful. As you can see, anywhere from 2 to 6 inches, and I think it could go even higher. You never want to downplay these events, as they're very unpredictable, especially with really localized areas of very heavy rain. So, want to be super careful there. Keep an eye on what the National Hurricane Center says. Am I late for the hurricane discussion? No, we're just getting started. Yeah, my background, you saw a Steelers player, but it's really just all Patriots thing. So I'll wait till it shows it. Don't want you guys to think that I'm a fan of both or anything. Yeah, I also like the Celtics. So hold on as we wait a minute. I'll keep answering questions though. Do conditions look like the hurricane season is winding down? Yeah, and we would normally expect that this time of year. As you can see, there's Antonio Brown, but the picture I have is for Malcolm Butler. So, yeah, there's that. If you guys see that, I don't want you guys to think that I'm a Steelers fan and a Patriots fan. I am just a Patriots fan. Yeah, this time of year, you look for the hurricane season to basically come to an end, and really the Gulf is going to be the only threat. At least Gulf-borne systems. Sometimes they can come up the coast, but you're not looking for storms to start in the Atlantic, really. Usually we see maybe one or two, but yeah, that winds down as this time of year hits. Northern Virginia, to continue answering that question, because I forgot the second half of the question, you're looking for below average temperatures and above average snowfall as well. Will Mississippi possibly get snow this year? Yeah, northern portions definitely have a chance. Northern and central portions certainly have a chance. What about North Carolina this year? So I think you're going to have below average temperatures with above average snowfall. Updates on Michigan's winter forecast. Average snowfall or above average snowfall? Right around average, I'm still calling for you guys. What do you think winter for coastal New England will look like? I think you guys could definitely get certainly 2 to 3 blizzards. I think it's going to be a big year for you guys, but below average temperatures as well. In NYC, it's going to be 49 degrees at night soon. It's going to be cold. Yeah. Yeah, as that cold starts to move in, look for the pattern to switch big time. Yeah, Pete Turtle, that's an interesting point. The red tide toxin in the ocean also can become aerosolized and cause coughing and irritation of the throat and eyes. Add Michael to that, and you have a problem. Yeah, you would think with the wind stirring that up and spreading that to different areas, that could certainly be dangerous. I'm not really an expert on the red tide or anything like that, or the what it can do to people, but that would make sense if that was the case. Jalen TM, you're very informative. Thank you. Simple Sam, man. It's going to be 47 on Friday, just south of Chicago, Illinois, with lows in the mid 30s. yeah, again, I'm really calling for that cold to start moving in. This early portion of October and the later portion of September has been crazy above average temperatures, basically for the middle, or, very eastern middle portions and eastern portions of the United States. And it's going to be a big wake up call when that completely switches, because we've been, 15, 20 degrees above average, and we're going to go straight to 10 degrees below average and maybe more. So it's going to be a big, 30, 40 degree swing of temperatures. So it's gonna be shocking, the difference you should be feeling, especially in those northern areas near the Great Lakes. If you're new to the stream, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I do live streams like this, as well as seasonal forecasts, monthly forecasts, and other sorts of forecasts. Also, make sure to leave comments down below, as I'm going to go through and answer all of those. Will the western side of Washington State, Kitsap County, have much snow this winter? I think that you guys will have slightly below average snowfall this year, slightly to below average snowfall. My local news said Michael was a fast moving. Did this affect anything in your forecast? Yeah, because if it was slow moving, I think that it would certainly, build up a lot more intensity than it will. So certainly affected my forecast. If it slows down, look for it to, strengthen more. I'll obviously have an update in the coming days as things change. With these hurricanes, it does change a lot. What are your thoughts on November? Could it be a repeat of 2014, really cold? Yeah, I was just, if you watch my, if you watch my most recent forecast, you'd see that early portions of November on the CFS weeklies looks to keep troughing in the east all the way through the early portions of November. And then into this portion, obviously, we have above average everywhere. That seems to be the trend with the weekly CFS forecast. Towards the end of the forecast, it just calls for above average everywhere, but you can kind of see where it wants to put more of the trough just based on this. The problem with the CFS is, again, towards the end, it really warms things up. It just really warms things up for the entire United States towards the end of every run, and that never really happens. So it just shows it, but it doesn't happen. Also, with the troughing in the east that it's calling for, because knowing the CFS, I know that that's what this wants. It's kind of saying. It really likes to just kind of forecast up until about this point, and then just keep whatever this is in place. It doesn't really stray away from that too much. So you see it kind of just wants to keep something very similar to that. So we'll have to look. And then the monthly forecast for November is going to have warmer conditions in this area and then colder conditions in the south. Again, they're calling for a pretty warm winter. Very typical of the CFS model. It is getting colder, though, in the east, according to this one. This is one of the only seasonal models calling for a warmer winter. So it's one of two major ones. So again, if you're new to the stream, feel free to subscribe, as I make live streams and other weather videos just like this one. Also, make sure to leave comments down below so I can answer all of them. What winter would you compare this upcoming one to? 2014 to 2015 is my favorite one to compare this one to. It shares a lot of similar things, like sea surface temperatures and many, many other things that look very similar. What do you think the impacts will be from Michael here in Harwick, Massachusetts, Cape Cod? Hey, I'm going to be Cape Cod in 3 days. I live in Virginia, but I'm going to be visiting New England. So shout out to you guys. It's going to be my first time, so hopefully I like it. I think that it's very possible that Michael will be going up the coast and impacting you guys directly. So we're going to want to keep a very close eye on that one for you guys that are up there in coastal New England. Let me see here. First, we're going to look at precipitation. According to the GFS, this will probably change at some point. But you see it wants to keep it a little bit south, but you see Cape Cod really getting in on some of those heavy bands. This almost looks like, a typical nor'easter you guys would get, or a very southern, slider type nor'easter that you guys get sometimes. but the precipitation rates that are coming out of this thing are going to be crazy out of control. As you'll see, possibly some areas getting 5 to 8 inches in here. Certainly Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard getting slammed by this one. But I really think that there's a great chance it'll be further north than this, going more inland and possibly out of Boston and then sliding out to sea. So we'll certainly have to keep an eye on this, but it looks like Cape Cod has a great chance of getting directly impacted by this one. As far as winds, though, we'll take a look real quick. See, it keeps it pretty far off the coast as of right now, and really, as far as winds, you guys will be looking at sustained of right around 20 to 28 max. So nothing you guys haven't been able to survive before. So I think you guys will be pretty okay, but be prepared for, a little bit stronger, as it could be 30 miles per hour plus. So you'll certainly want to keep an eye on that. Great question, though. People still watch football, question mark? Yes, a lot of people. What about South Texas? We want the mosquitoes gone. Yeah, be looking for things to cool down quite a bit pretty soon. Somebody said Tropical Storm Michael is at 60 miles per hour already. You sure about that one? Wow. Whoa. That is wild. Yeah. Oh, man. It's going to hit shear right here, though, so it might actually end up weakening a bit right here, but yeah. Right, as of right now, it's looking a lot more likely that this will become a hurricane. I just made a video calling for it to only be a tropical storm, but I might have to update that very quickly, as this system seems to be overperforming already. Brandon Morris, can you clarify your question for Southern Maryland? Could you list good schools for an undergrad who is interested in atmospheric science? There's really a lot of them. It's really hard to mention one specific one. There's a lot of good ones. Penn State is really good. But yeah, you definitely have to look into that for yourself. When can we expect snow in Northern Virginia? I think Northern Virginia, look for the middle portions of December. Oh, hey, Javen Chase. Good to catch you on the stream. What is your thoughts of Into Thin Air? I've never heard of that. Hey, weather guy, what's the impact on the hurricane for central and east central PA? I think you meant to say. It says easy central, but I think you meant eastern central. Yeah, so very similar to northern Virginia. Just look for heavy rains to be your biggest threat. Be prepared for 6 inches plus of rain, similar to what you guys had in August. Be prepared for the worst, certainly. I'm always late. My notification is late. I'm sorry about that, man. Rebecca Breer, Patriots Heart Football. Sorry, guys. I'm 10 minutes behind on the comments because you guys are doing such a good job of commenting. So it's kind of a good problem to have, but I'm very far behind. So if you feel like I'm not answering your questions, I am getting to all of them, so don't worry. I will get to your comment. Thank you guys for all subscribing. I think we've gone up 20 subscribers, or approximately around there, since I started streaming. Always appreciative of that. PSU, Weather Newbie. thought of Michael over Eastern Massachusetts. I think I already answered that one, so you probably heard it. Do you know when/if you're going to make a third winter forecast? Yeah, I think towards probably the later portions of October, it'll probably end up getting updated. And then once more, probably after that, right in the later portions of November, as obviously I want to wait as long as possible to make my final outlook, just so I can make sure I've got the very latest information right before the season starts. But I'm only going to update it if I feel like it needs to be updated. Last time I updated it, I did feel that it needed to be updated, tweaked slightly, so it's most likely that it will need to be updated again in a month. And when I do update it, it's only small things, but I do want to keep the most accurate information out there. And big blizzard year for NYC. I think it's possible. You guys have really not gotten hit, big time in recent years, but I think it's possible that this could be the year. It always feels like it could be. There's been a couple years in the past where we thought it could be the year. I think this one certainly could. Any snow for South Carolina? We'll have to see. Upstate certainly has an okay chance. Will Cape Cod see a big winter? I think so. There might be a lot of events where you get, kind of rain to mix in, obviously, like you get sometimes, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. That's more of a storm-to-storm thing that we'll have to wait for the storms to actually be hitting to know for sure. What do you think about the winter for Columbia, South Carolina? Yeah, we'll have to see. You might see some snow, and certainly if it is going to snow any winter, this would be the type of winter that it could happen, so keep your eye on that. Even with above normal sea surface temperatures nearby, yeah, I think those are currently cooling off pretty good. And again, those mixing issues, that could enhance the mixing issues, but I think there's going to be so many storms hitting that you'll end up with slightly above average snowfall at least. Southern California for winter, I think you guys will have average precipitation with above average temperatures. Updates on central and northern Indiana and Chicago area. Truck driver asking. Yeah, I think it's going to be brutally cold. Pretty average amount of snow, but definitely brutally cold. Alberto, I love this channel. Thank you so much. Pacific Northwest, when do you think it's going to freeze here? I think it's going to start to warm up here soon, but we're going to have to see what the pattern does going towards winter more as we get into December and months like that, which will be a little bit of a more closer range forecast that we'll have to make. I expect the trough to be over the east most of the time, but there will also be times where it's over the west, of course. So we'll have to see for sure. Ed Calix, great channel. Thank you. What do you see for Nashville, Tennessee? I think above average snowfall with below average temperatures. When will the East see the first winter storm? Great question. Probably that usually happens anywhere from mid-November till about early December. That's usually the range that we look for that to happen. I think right around late November in the very earliest portion of December is when we're going to see, and that's at least named storm. If you're thinking snow, I think, as certainly as we get into later October and early November, we'll see somewhere in the Northeast get some sort of snow. So it really just depends what you meant by that question, but I answered both. So you think Chattanooga, Tennessee will have above average snow? We seem to always miss out on the big snows. It has to be perfect to get snow with a low coming from the Gulf. Yeah, I think this is one of those years where one of those lows coming from the Gulf could happen. So definitely look out for that. It's called a southern slider, by the way. Southern slider / Miller A nor'easter is what would affect you. So I think it's one of those years. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I make live streams just like this one and also seasonal forecasts, other sorts of forecasts, and all sorts of weather videos. So if you're into that type of thing, feel free to subscribe, like I said. Also, make sure to leave a comment down below as I'm going through and answering all of those for you guys. This is kind of a Q&A thing. Snow for southern Ontario this winter, and how cold will it get? It'll probably get very cold there, and you should have above average snowfall. Yeah, when to expect first snowstorm / blizzard NYC. I have a feeling it'll be early January. Blizzard, can't really say, but snowstorm is at least sizable. Yeah, I think early January, late December, probably after Christmas, December. I'm actually going to upload my own unbiased winter forecast for the United States. I just wanted to know what you're thinking for the northeastern suburbs of Philadelphia. I've been struggling on that. So I'm assuming you're from there and you want to keep an unbiased opinion, as we're actually going to witness me hit 11,000 subscribers here, guys. Extremely appreciative of that. I think we are. So if you haven't subscribed already, and you want to be a part of that, make sure to. Philadelphia, I think it's a safe bet that you guys will have above average precipitation and below average temperatures. So really that's going to mean probably above average snowfall. That's an easy bet, honestly, for this type of winter. So if they think you're biased, just tell them I told you so. And I'm not even from there. How much snow do you think is too much snow? There's no such thing. I was in one of my live streams, I was talking about how I was in Winchester for the blizzard of, was it 2015 or 26? It was 2016. I was in Winchester and they got about 40 inches of snow. That was the day that I realized there's no such thing as too much snow, because I was really enjoying myself, having a great time. How much snow do you think is, oh, wait, I just answered that one. Can that cold air pattern switch make it to South Florida? Asking this before, but I don't know if it's more certain now, LOL. So here's the thing that we've been looking at for Florida, which is really unfortunate. At least the first cold shot that we're going to get here, right around, you see, we're still warm on October 12th. That's Friday night. And then by Saturday, the cold is starting to penetrate the east. Kind of can't make up its mind. It's really in these northern portions. You see, here's our first cold shot, and this is for, again, the 13th. But Florida stays above average, unfortunately, according to this one. Then some portions staying below average through the 14th. 15th, we see a big warm-up for the east in between troughs. And then, again, we get this bigger trough on the 15th, 16th, where at the very least, most of Florida will have average conditions and northern Florida will have below average conditions. And this is by the 17th. And this one looks a little more persistent for the southern areas. And then it starts to kind of get all messy up in the east. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what that is trying to tell us. That looks like the type of thing that will usually change, either be a ridge or a trough in the east. So we'll have to see for sure. Master Chief, I will release it sometime this week, depending on how much school work I have. Can't wait, man. I'll definitely check that out. And when will the NAO switch? Good question again. As we're going to look for. Oops. Usually I just type in all the teleconnections and it'll give me this page. I really should bookmark this page. Yeah, so the NAO, it really doesn't look to go negative, and I've always preached it doesn't really have to go negative to really get cold. But yeah, it looks to be slightly positive through all these cold periods that we're going to get, and then start to go negative. So this will greatly enhance the chance, again, of possibly continuing to see cold through the end portions of October. So it really all depends. I missed what you said for Indiana and Chicago. Was dealing with my daughter. I noticed that the title said a change. I didn't know if it changed what you said last time I asked. No, so the change is just really a pattern change that's going to be hitting the eastern United States and central, so that it would include you. We're going to start to see much colder conditions move into the Great Lakes region and then the eastern United States. So yeah, it's really going to get cold. If you're asking for the winter forecast, though, below average temperatures, well below average temperatures, actually, with average precipitation. What will Michael do to Maryland? Okay, so Maryland, We're looking at Michael here as I go to today. So you see Michael is going to hit right in between the Alabama, Florida border right there in the Gulf states and really weaken from that point on. Really, southern Maryland's going to get the most impacts, portions of the Delmarva. But rain's going to be your biggest threat there. Certainly your biggest threat. As again, a lot of portions get 2 to 6 inches of rain, so look for localized flooding for sure. Be on the lookout for that. Atlanta area looks like it's going to go a little bit south of you guys with the rain. So the rain threat and the wind threat, you should only be experiencing 20 to 30 mile per hour sustained wind, so it shouldn't be too bad. But things could certainly change very quickly, so I would be on high alert for sure. Make sure to keep up with the National Hurricane Center and be looking for updates. Again, guys, I'm really far behind on the comments, so I apologize for that. I'm at the comments that were coming in at 9:12, and it's currently 9:30, so I'm very far behind, so I apologize for that. But I am going to answer all the questions, so don't worry. 12Z Euro shows hurricane force for Cape and islands. Gusts 94 mile per hour gusts on Nantucket and 83 miles on Chatham. So we're going to certainly keep an eye on that. Again, that's pretty far out. We're going to have to see if the Euro is very accurate with this or the GFS. Right now, I don't have access to the European model, so we'll have to see. But if the European shows that, certainly be prepared for that to happen. You will love Cape Cod. It's warm next few days, 70s highs and 60s at night. But next weekend, after Mike passes through, lows in the 40s. Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of the cold weather, so it's not going to bother me too much. I've been to New England. I'm a huge fan of New Hampshire and Maine and everywhere. So I really love in the Massachusetts area I've been throughout. I just haven't been to Cape Cod yet, so I can't wait. If anybody has any restaurants they could recommend, I'd appreciate it. For sure, any great restaurants, must-visit restaurants. You're located in the south. Will this tropical system impact you? No, this tropical system will not impact me. I'm actually I'm going to be in New England at the time. So, yeah. And it doesn't look to impact my home area that bad either. Possibly. Could. How much rain in southern Maryland? Anywhere from 2 to 5 inches, probably, maybe more. Again, these systems are very unpredictable, so you want to be really careful with what forecasts you trust and everything. Just be prepared for the worst, basically. If we were to get snow in West Tennessee, around when do you think it will happen? You're probably looking at mid-January being your best bet. I mean, you're right up against the Mississippi River, I'm assuming. So it could be pretty late on just because, in that river valley, it tends to be a bit warmer than surrounding areas. You're probably well aware of that. Great channel, my friend. Good job, Lauren Montgomery. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I do live streams like this as well as other sorts of weather videos. Also, make sure to comment down below if you have any questions. Master Chief, do you want to become a moderator? Because I'm noticing you're very active in the comments, and I really appreciate that. And I don't really have a lot of moderators. I do have a lot of moderators, but there's usually only 1 or 2 on at a time, and sometimes 0. So if you want to, you don't have to, but it would just give you power to block comments, and people would probably notice your comments a little bit more, and you seem to be pretty educated on the matter, so. Daily tropical updates. What's going on, man? I was just in your stream earlier. Probably left, though, because, you know, I'm so many minutes behind at this point. Willie, I'm new here. Can I ask what your credentials are, respectively? Check my channel description. It has that. Though I'm not a meteorologist, I'm just a weather enthusiast. I'm only 18, so. How about snow in Maryland for winter? I think above average snowfall with below average temperatures. What type of weather pattern change would it take to alleviate the drought in California? Yeah, so California, to alleviate the drought, really you're going to look for average precipitation at least. If you get average precipitation, it's going to slowly start to get a lot better. I'm calling for average to slightly above average precipitation this winter, which is really good news for you guys. I heard Michael, the hurricane, will be 135 miles an hour. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. It's been changing so much, and it's been intensifying a lot faster than anticipated already, so we'll have to see. As far as Cat 3 goes, I don't know for sure. If you want to leave any comments down below, make sure to do so as I'm going through and answering all of those. I will get to you. I'm about 10 minutes behind, so don't worry. I am going through and answering all of them. I'm not ignoring anybody, so just be patient. Mihi of you is here. That's really good. He's missed a few streams in a row, so I'm glad to see you're here. I live in Massachusetts. Do you think there will be a lot of snow? Yes, I do. Above average snowfall this winter. Need to get dressed because of my excitement. Vortex winter. Yeah, I think there's a good chance. Past year snow as early as October 31st. Yeah, there's certainly possible. Tropical updates. I seen you in the other stream by the David. That David Schlotthauer. I've heard of him before. I'm subscribed to him. I don't think he's subscribed to me, though, which is pretty sad. It looks like my screen stopped sharing at some point as I'm looking at my screen right now. That's the dangerous thing kind of about being like so far behind in my comments. But if I'm going to go down all the way and see if okay, good. Doesn't look like anybody said anything about the screen not sharing, so that's good. Let me try to get back up to where I was. Joe Coffey has a 2 and a 3 at the way high end of the spectrum. Listening to him. Are you saying for the tropical storm in the Gulf? Again, I'm pretty far behind, so if you guys don't specify exactly what you're talking about, I might get pretty confused just because you're probably replying to something I said like 10 minutes ago. Congrats on 11,000 in advance. I have things to do. Thanks for answering my questions and looking forward to the next stream. Thanks you, Christopher. I might stream again tomorrow, but maybe not. I'm going to be preparing for my vacation. I want to start streaming a little bit less frequently because I've noticed that, my subscribers do sometimes drop a little bit. I think it's a little bit spammy to stream every day, so I'm gonna try to like do every other day maybe. Hopefully that's not too disappointing to some of you guys who like when I stream every day, but it'll give me more to talk about anyway, so it might be a really good thing. Try shoveling it. I don't know what you're talking about at this point. It's really been getting its act together lately. Most likely in Mordecai. Yeah, if you're talking about the El Nino. Do you think this winter could be brutally as 2009, 2010 for Southeast? And what are the chances as of now for Mordecai El Nino? Chances for Mordecai El Nino are pretty good. As far as 2009 to 2010, I think it's an okay analog, but it doesn't really look too similar, and that's a lot of records broken that winter, so I wouldn't call for that exactly. If you look at the latest observations, Nino 3, 3.4, and Nino 4 are all warmer than Nino 1 plus 2, which signifies Mordecai. That's correct, Master Chief. Can you show the shaded temperatures? I don't even know what you're talking about, what I was talking about at that point in time, but I will show the shaded temperatures for when it gets cold. Here you can literally see the cold front right here move east. You can literally see it here again. And then it moves through to the east. And 18Z is going to be your high temperatures, by the way. So looking at 18Z, you can see a lot of areas on the Friday, October 12th. 69 here in Southeast Virginia, 67 here in Virginia, 70s in the Carolinas, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So very cold conditions. And your lows, in the 50s for coastal regions and 40s and 30s for more inland areas. And again, that ridge comes back briefly for a day. And then the real cold hits where your lows are below freezing in all of these blue areas. And I want to see the high temperatures for this day. Shockingly cold, 50s here in these areas. Again, this cold shot is going to be very, very cold. I think the second one's going to come through 15th, 16th. I've been calling for this for over a week now. But this is stronger than I thought at this point. I mean, with these below average temperatures, you might be seeing your first snows in some of these areas, in some of these blue shaded areas, if you get precipitation during the nights, which is very exciting stuff. 10,995 subs. LOL, someone messing with sub. Yes, one is bad. Back. He might reach 11,000 hype. Eastern Long Island, New York. Yeah, I think above average snowfall with below average temperatures for this winter. Nikki, thank you. New sub here. Thank you, Nikki. I'm hoping I see snow in December in North Carolina. Yeah, December snow is always the best in my opinion, but all snow is just amazing to me. So, Master Chief, congrats, man. Mihi of you, 11,000. Yep. Everybody's saying congratulations when I hit 11,000 10 minutes ago. Thank you, everybody who subscribed. The Southeast Ridge die or for good or no? Yes, I think it pretty much will. I'm Kevin. You're going so quick. Congratulations. Thank you. $99 will have 17. Congrats. Somebody just texted me and I don't have their number. Okay. Now I got to scroll back up to wherever I was real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's see where I was. Okay. You've been working hard. Why troll him? Okay, back. Da-da-da-da. In Boston, the no-name classic chowder bowler on Fish Pier. The restaurant has no name. I'm gonna screenshot that. Check it out. Yeah, Javen and Mihi of you. That was before you guys, like 10 minutes or 20 minutes ago. You guys weren't here, so I was thinking about making him a moderator as well. One more. He's pretty active. I do love you guys, though. You guys are super good moderators. You guys answer all the questions, are super supportive. So I'm very happy with my moderator crew right now. But just one more. It's not too much. Hope that didn't insult you guys too much. Again, you guys weren't even here when I said that, so I apologize. $18 and doing well for yourself. Thank you. And I have a full-time job too. Well, it's kind of part-time. It really varies. I get anywhere from 10 to 40 hours a week, so it really varies. When I was 18, I definitely was not helping myself out. Yeah, that's how a lot of 18-year-olds are. I mean, it's fighting a lot of temptation because it's tempting to just spend all your money and have fun. But I think really things like weather and interests for me have helped me a lot, just because it's not a very expensive hobby for most people if you know how to control yourself. But I'm really frugal. Like I feel sick if I go out to eat just because I know I spent $15-$20. So how do you get so many supporters? I don't really know. I just make weather videos and interact with people. I'm really just appreciative of that. But I know it's cliche, but just being myself and making content and making sure to interact with everybody, and just being friendly has really gone a long way for me. Alberto, you sound a lot older in a good way. Thank you. What do you think for Southeast Pennsylvania for this winter? I think you guys will have above average snowfall and below average temperatures. Techman 330. I'm planning on attending Plymouth State University for meteorology. That's so cool, man. I know a guy that goes there actually. Really cool place. Chicagoland area, a lot of snow this year. I think average amounts. The cold it's going to be so cold, and those low pressure systems are really going to go around. But the cold is going to be the biggest departure from normal for sure. How did you get so many subs? I mean, oh, what was it? 10 days ago, I had 3,000 subscribers, and I know that was a lot, but I've grown a lot since then. And I don't really know what I've done differently. I don't know if it's a difference in like YouTube's algorithm for like how it shares videos. Maybe it's just a snowball effect, but I don't really know. But again, I'm just really happy about it. I was happy with 3,000 subscribers. I was happy with 300. that I had in August. So it's crazy to think 10,000 subscribers in 2 months. Is New Jersey getting above average snowfall this year? Yes. Yes, they will. I see somebody talking about when my screen stopped, but it did end up coming back, I believe. If you're new to the stream or new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and also leave comments down below as I'm going to go through and answer all of those. I make weather-related content, so if you're into that, certainly subscribe or check it out at least and see if you're interested. Two flat earthers who dislike this video. I'm a noob. Let's see. Hold on, guys. There is a bug in my room that I'm trying to kill, so we're going to have to take a timeout real quick. It is fast, and I'm very scared, but I'm going to try to keep talking. I'll just sit back and make sure I keep an eye on where it was, and I'll probably be fine. I'm terrified of bugs, so that's one of my biggest fears. So I'm a new bit weather, but would love to study it. Yeah, I certainly would like to study it too. I'm thinking about it. I don't know for sure if it's what I want to do though. Surprisingly. I'm just wondering where that bug went, to be honest. It fell. I was about to smash it with my shoe, and it just, fell and went so fast. I've never seen a bug move that fast in my life. Straight up next level speed. Patriots could use him to play linebacker, honestly. Since you won't stream too much, can you do 2 days a week? Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking about, something in between every other day and 2 days a week. I'm not too scheduled about it though. So I usually just do it when I feel like it. But I don't do more than once a day, obviously, because that'd be a little overkill for sure. I mean, it already is almost a little overkill, so that would be very overkill. Bear Club Fan 00 Gmail. Oklahoma will be getting 50s next weekend. You called it long before even the local weather teams did. I'm impressed! Explanation mark. Thank you so much. If you like Donald Trump, oh, okay. Not gonna answer that one. I already knew straight away. I was like, okay, not gonna answer that one. Do we have had it before? No politics here, please. What about Massachusetts winter weather? Moderators, if anybody brings up Donald Trump or anything politically related, you can go ahead and delete those comments. And on second offenses, you can put them in timeout. If they commented again after a timeout, you can go ahead and ban them from the live stream. This is strictly weather-related live stream. Weather-related and kind of just laid-back discussion. All the young people. I'm 63. Wow. That's pretty young. It's really young, actually. I'm still 10 minutes behind. I can't believe it. I don't mind more moderators, LOL. I just commenting on you saying don't have many. Yeah. It's crazy that an argument was happening and I didn't even notice because I was so far behind. Yeah, once Michael hits shear, it won't be enough to destroy it, but it'll, like we saw with even Florence. I mean, Florence, I believe, was a category 3 or 4, and it weakened all the way down to a tropical storm, and then had to re-strengthen from that point on. At one point in the Atlantic, so we might see something, a very, very, very much a weaker version of that happen. Where it completely weakens back down to a tropical storm and then or tropical depression has to strengthen all the way back up, start back from ground zero, basically. Myrtle Beach from Michael. Just be on the lookout. Mostly, breezy conditions to pretty windy conditions. Flooding rains are obviously a risk if it takes the more east-based route, but we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. DeBrick Shaw, I have been subscribed to you since the channel was called Ashton Blue. Man, you've been here a long time. That was maybe like what 2016. As I see the bug again, I'm going for the kill this time. But yeah, the channel was called Ashton so long ago. Ashton Blue. That's my actual name though. Well, actually my middle name, but I go by my middle name. I know it's a long story. Maybe next stream we can get into it. We get these like water bug roach things, and that's what this is, but they're like huge and I'm terrified of them. I'm pretty tall, and they can fly. That's the worst part. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go get the roach spray, but I will be back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Good news. I got him pretty good with the spray, so I think the stream will be able to continue as normal. If anybody says that I try to act too professional or something, um, I beg to differ based on that example. But yeah, DeBrickashaw, thank you so much for being a long-time subscriber. I'm sure you're as surprised as me about how much my channel has grown. Many of you, I believe we humans are biggest impact on weather because of a lot of taking and not giving back. But I'm not going to get political here. Yeah, I think even if that's not true about the weather, I mean that is such a good statement. I mean, we take everything and we give nothing back to the earth, and that's really just not good. Think about it. Falcon Gaming, I got you in my recommended 3 days ago. But hopefully you're a subscriber. Thanks for checking out the channel at the very least. 18Z Sunday highs it is the highs, yeah. Dark Sky, I subscribed yesterday. Thank you for subscribing. Daily tropical updates. I got you a month ago. Thanks. Guys, please don't troll or get political. Please keep the chat kid friendly. I'm just making a point. Sadly, I can't post any proof here. How about Michael being 60 miles per hour storm through South Carolina? I mean, anything's possible. Be prepared for the worst. Pudge Gaming, nice to see the channel growing so much. Thank you. Bonnie D, thanks for all the recommendations of good places to eat. I'm in upstate South Carolina. I don't know if it was going to be bad or just like Florence was. So I think, you know, yeah, I don't really know exactly like where you're at. So I don't know exactly what the conditions were like in Florence, but it depends where you're at. I think rain is your biggest threat with this one for anywhere outside of the Gulf states for that matter. So. Thank you, Javen, for deleting the comment. Or Jacob Thome, I think. Somebody did it. Thank you. It's the coastal region of South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, Georgetown. Okay. Yeah, so it really just depends if we get an east track or a west track. But again, I think winds should stay under at least 50 miles per hour for you. Gusts should be under 60 miles per hour. So it'll be pretty windy, but I think that you'll be safe. But prepare for the worst, like I say. And flooding will be your biggest threat if it goes right over you. Yeah, what's up, Jacob Thome? Jacob. Isaiah Jacob, can I be moderator? I don't know if you're a regular, but definitely if you show up for the streams consistently and answer a lot of questions very educationally, I'll be happy. That's usually why I would make somebody a moderator. So, but I definitely have a lot right now, so I'm going to have to see. What do you think of the mountains of Virginia this year? I think you guys should have above average snowfall with below average temperatures. I'm trying to catch up to the current comments so badly, but they just keep coming in. Again, a good problem to have. Is that bug is still alive? What in the world? It's flying all over the place. I literally sprayed it with the spray, and it's like, I didn't think it should live. Like, I've never seen one fly this much, first off. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's flying around like a maniac, so it doesn't want me to catch up on the comments. That's the problem. I accidentally put a tie in the washer. Man, that's a bad day. You hear that from across. You'll hear that from upstairs, third story of the house, from the basement. That thing is so loud when a metal piece gets in there. Clunk, 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 every time. I hope Dallas loses too. I always hope Dallas loses. Let's see. It's getting so hot in here. I have to turn my AC off when I do these streams, so it usually gets really hot. Oklahoma always seems to be right in the line between rain and snow. It's been years since we've had a good snowstorm. Fingers crossed for this year. Yeah, it looks like another one of those years where it might be a lot of ice storms and stuff. So it always looks that way, though. And then sometimes you guys just make out with a snowstorm somehow. So we're going to have to wait and see. But we have fall in North Carolina. Trees are still green. Will it go from summer to winter? No, I think it will become fall pretty soon here. Isaiah Jacob again. I already answered that question, so I have a question. Can you make a forecast for winter in Northeast, and will Michael impact the Northeast? Yeah, I've made 2 winter forecasts actually. So one updated one and one's an old one. So definitely watch the updated one. And Michael, I made a forecast on already, and I'm going to make a second forecast once we're later into the storm, obviously. So let's see. Also, mods, if somebody kind of throws something out there that seems a bit like it's trolling and it's not a very educational comment, you can also delete those sorts of comments. Like if somebody says something like about the geoengineering, but it doesn't really bring up a valid point at all, or Yeah, again, if it just seems spammy, that can be deleted. Yeah, I'm gonna go over the pattern change in just a minute once I know that this roach is dead. Because I don't want to be right up against my computer. I know I'm such a wimp, guys. Isaiah Jacob again, like if you bring a lot of valuable educational type comments to these live streams, then I'll certainly think about it. But as of right now, you're just asking to be a moderator, so uh, you certainly would have to kind of prove yourself at this point a little bit, not to be rude, but uh, contribute to the chat a lot, and then I'll think about it. Sean forever. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks for watching the live stream right after. I hope you found everything super entertaining. There you go. Killed the roach. The world is saved. Okay. That one was a crazy one. That thing was on steroids or something. Like Weather said, wind was higher threat. Yeah, I think rain's the biggest threat. Like I said, I'm not the local weather though. Atlanta, Southwest Atlanta area. I think you guys have an above average chance at snow this year. If that's what you're asking. Yo, will Colorado have lots of snows? Of course. Of course you will. Yeah, you guys can block N-word too, because I don't even want to. I can't even reply to him because I can't say his name. So and he's obviously just a troll, so he can be blocked. Thanks everybody for being really good at deleting the comments and everything. Yeah, I think the winter season will be as cold as last year in Eastern North Carolina. A little bit more spread out and less potent when it is, though. Yeah, again, thanks mods for being really good at deleting comments really fast so that nobody sees anything offensive. That's good work, guys. Landing Gamer, sorry I'm late by 1 hour. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, the reason we don't talk about global warming or climate change, guys, just to clarify, is because it automatically is going to make 50% of people mad, and it would, and not talking about it makes a few people mad, the few people that wanted to talk about it. So we're just trying not to uh again make about half of everybody in this chat mad or heated up. Right, if it's a very educated, like, on topic comment, that's okay. But if it's like a do you believe in global warming or do you not, just like straight up question, then we will just not answer that or try to delete that. No, you're not allowed to talk about weather. You are allowed to talk about weather, but climate change can devolve into awful arguments that don't contribute to the live stream. Yep, exactly my point. Hey, what's up? I can never see your name, so that's going to be confusing. That turns to clouds later into precipitation. Wow, I got back in time to hear my comment. LOL. That's crazy. Yeah, I was pretty far behind for quite a while there. Yeah, the stream is really delayed, Jacob, because the comments I'm like 10 minutes behind. Well, I'm 5 minutes behind now, but I was actually 20 minutes behind at one point, so that's why it's delayed. Um, how cold will it get in Maryland? Are you talking about winter or the upcoming pattern? That's the question. Areas in the south that I would look for above average snowfall. Well, I'll just draw the area that I think will have above average snowfall in general. Think that these areas will have above average snowfall inside that red circle, at least slightly. If it snows at all south of this red line, then they're automatically above their average of no snow or very little. So, do you think Knoxville will get the effects or storm of Hurricane Michael? No, I don't think so. I don't think you'll see very much effects. Maybe temperature will change, but not very much precipitation related effects or wind effects. Guys, let him talk. We were having a good discussion. He wasn't offending anybody. On the coast of Texas, why is it we only get get snow when we have hurricanes? I didn't know that's how that works. Wait, I'm confused by that question. Guys, let's stop talking about the sun and the moon and stuff. Every time that discussion starts up, we get really heated arguments for some reason. because people are very passionate about their opinions on that. So yeah, that is interesting because usually it just happens to be that unactive hurricane years tend to have more snowfall in like overall. But yeah, let me see here. I think my clock like it does this sometimes where I have to reset this. Oh wait, it updated. Okay. 10:18. So I'm 2 minutes behind now, so I'm catching up. It's not that it just got heated even, it's that it has in these previous streams happened before. So I just prefer not to talk about it. And there isn't a lot of it's a very I'm trying to think of the right words here. It's unproven science so far. It's really debatable. So yeah, Pika Masters DE1. It's not about you being wrong or right. It's that usually that discussion leads to like solar minimum and grand solar minimum, and then people start talking about, oh, there's an ice age coming and all this sort of stuff. So yeah. So the temperatures, uh, because I was gonna get on this again, but I forgot to because I was just trying to catch up on the comments really fast. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get a warmer winter in Minnesota. Very doubtful that that will happen. So here's the pattern switch looking a little bit more definitive and a little bit earlier too. You guys, if you guys have been watching a lot of my streams and videos for the past 10 days or so, I've been calling for the warm temperatures to move out by the 15th. Now it looks like it'll be the 13th, a little bit earlier. But we see this first trough move in for quite a bit with a lot of areas in 4 degrees below average Celsius or more, uh, based on the 1981 to 2010 average. So, very recent average. And then we see a brief warm up in between troughs just for a day or even just for a night, really. It doesn't look to get that much above average in between, and then we get the real Big Daddy, the one that we've been seeing for the 15th really this whole time, just super below average temperatures all throughout here. I mean, 12 degrees below average Celsius, so really below average temperatures there. The entire eastern United States. Again, I've been calling for this for quite a while now, and we're seeing it finally happening. And then the whole system starts to get a little bit confused, get a ridge in the east eventually, and then you see this new trough try to move in. If we look at what was the one? Yeah, if you look at the vorticity, you can see how deep this trough is. It wants to put in on the 18th of Tuesday, and it's just entering as this frame. shows up, so it's gonna get much deeper cold after this frame right here, well below average temperatures again after the 23rd. So again, to recap, 13th trough is a little bit flat, not too deep of a trough. Then by the 15th, we get this really deep trough right here in the east, and you can see this huge ridge in the west, and then a little bit of a ridge. You usually get these lulls in between when we have about 4 troughs in the whole the hemisphere. We get a lot of movement. The less troughs in the hemisphere, the less movement. So if we have about 2 or 3 troughs, it's really slow moving. But right now we have a lot, so they're moving in and out very quickly. So brief ridging, and then again this trough tries to dig, and you can see how strong that is. And that's about to, again, really dig deep on this one. So around 17 years ago, I had 5 feet of snow in my yard. Madness it was. Yeah, sounds crazy. Ventusky, yeah, I've seen it. One of those wind maps. It's kind of like Google Earth. Uh, really pretty website here. I'd call it an interactive model website, I think, is the best way to describe it. Very beautiful. It usually just doesn't have the um I just don't like the the format for forecasting, but for looking at it, it's very pretty. For me, I like the very simple tropical tidbits type website. Joey Bale, you need to chill out, bro. Let's just stick to weather, guys. Let's try to keep the conversation just about weather. Very educated comments, guys. The next person to say something mean is going to be put in timeout. I mean that literally, like YouTube timeout, which would not let you comment for quite a while. And Javen Chase, you said you need to study weather. Man, you've brought a lot of very educated opinions to the conversation a lot, and I really appreciate you as a moderator. So, but if you want to learn more about weather, I encourage you. It's a very fun field to learn more about, but you seem to know quite a bit already as it is. So I wouldn't say you need to. February seems like big month for weak El Ninos. Could be an exciting month for snow for East Coast, like 2015 in February. Boston got hammered, blizzard after blizzard. Yeah, I could see that. Pika, don't worry about it. We got it under control. That's a good question, Pika. Who here has had over a foot of snow before? Or better yet, what's the most snow that anybody's ever experienced in from one snowstorm? Minnesota should have average to slightly below average precipitation just because of the very cold air being right there. Uh, Again, I want to thank all of my mods right now. You guys, it's really been a testing stream for you guys today. And you guys have just done an excellent job. So I wanted to let you guys know how much I appreciate you guys. I'd have had to have deleted in so many comments. I wouldn't have been able to continue with the discussion normally. So I just wanted to thank you guys and let you know that I'm very appreciative. The most I've ever gotten at my house was well, Boxing Day, I think I measured 16 inches. And last winter, I think I measured 16 inches as well from a snowstorm. So yeah, I have two storms tied for top for me. As far as what I've experienced in Winchester, Virginia, I experienced a snowstorm that was massive. 40. I think it was around 40 inches. So absolutely massive. Keep the comments rolling in, guys. We're about to end pretty soon here. So. Sorry, guys. I was replying to a text. I totally forgot that I was live. Let's see. $29 inches. Wow. If somebody's just getting to this chat and hears that, it's probably gonna be really weird. Just saying. Like, oh, you got 29 inches? That's pretty cool. I only got 12, but it's good enough, I guess. I really want to move north and experience those really large storms 1 foot. Yeah, dude, same. I can't wait to just like move to New England or something and just get like slammed one after the other. 2 feet of snow once. I remember in middle school, I walked an entire mile back and forth in snow here in Minnesota. Yeah. Houston, Texas for October 10th through 20th. Yeah, you should be starting to experience below average temperatures, but it should be fluctuating, and precipitation should be pretty average as far as I can tell. I'm about to go, guys, because somebody's texting me something important, so trying to have a deep conversation, but I want to keep streaming for a little bit here. Jacob Thumb, I live in the rural parts of mountains in north central PA area. You got a decent stream going on here. I appreciate your feedback and your mods. Definitely very informative. I never really looked at weather this way before. Always depended on weekly forecasts. Thanks, man. And this is a very quiet stream actually compared to what it normally is. But I hope that you come back to the channel and subscribe for more content like this. I'd be happy to have you. Anyway, guys, it's been great streaming with you, but I got to go, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed streaming with you guys. Again, thank you, moderators, for just making sure that the stream experience is really, really good and just really friendly for everybody. And hopefully those arguments will start up less and less as we continue to be more strict with deleting those types of comments and making sure that everything stays under control. Yeah, well, a few Tinder dates tonight, just a couple, but yeah, every day though. Just the typical Sunday night Tinder dates, you know what I mean? But yeah, thanks everybody for watching the streams. I hope that everybody subscribes if they enjoyed the channel. You know, we always love to have discussions like this and everything, and you guys are just as much a part of it as I am, so I'm just really appreciative for everything. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.